Today we will talk about the brain. The title of this video is Beyond the Surface Delving into the Depths of Brain. The human brain is a remarkable and complex organ that serves as the control center of the nervous system. It weighs about 3 pounds and is about the size of a small cauliflower. Despite its small size, the brain is responsible for a vast array of functions including cognition, perception, memory, emotion, and movement. The brain is divided into different regions, each with its own specialized functions. The cerebrum, the largest part of the brain, is responsible for conscious thought and voluntary actions. The cerebral cortex is the outer layer of the cerebrum and is responsible for higher cognitive processes such as language, problem solving, and decision making. The cerebral cortex is divided into two hemispheres, the left and right, connected by a bundle of nerve fibers called the corpus callosum. Each hemisphere controls the opposite side of the body. The left hemisphere is typically associated with analytical and language skills, while the right hemisphere is more involved in creativity and spatial awareness. The brain is enveloped by three protective layers called meninges. These layers provide cushioning and protection for the delicate neural tissue. The brain is composed of billions of specialized cells called neurons. Neurons are the basic building blocks of the nervous system and transmit electrical and chemical signals. Neurons communicate with each other through structures called synapses, where electrical signals are converted into chemical signals and transmitted to neighboring neurons. The brain has an intricate network of neurons forming complex circuits that process information. These circuits allow us to perceive and interact with the world around us. The brain requires a constant supply of oxygen and nutrients to function properly. It receives these through an extensive network of blood vessels known as the cerebral circulation. The brain is one of the most energy demanding organs in the body, requiring about 20% of the body's total energy expenditure. The brain is protected by the skull, a bony structure that acts as a rigid shell. The cerebrospinal fluid produced in the brain also provides cushioning and shock absorption. The brain can be divided into three main regions: the forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Each region has distinct functions and structures. The forebrain includes the cerebral hemispheres, thalamus, and hypothalamus. It is involved in sensory processing, thinking, and regulating body temperature, hunger, and sleep. The midbrain, located between the forebrain and hindbrain, is involved in visual and auditory processing as well as the regulation of movement. The hindbrain consists of the pons, medulla oblongata, and cerebellum. It controls vital functions such as breathing, heart rate, and coordination. The cerebellum, often referred to as the little brain, is responsible for coordinating movement, balance, and posture. It contains more than half of the brain's neurons. The brain is composed of gray and white matter. Gray matter consists of cell bodies and is involved in information processing, while white matter consists of myelinated nerve fibers that transmit signals between different brain regions. The brain is highly plastic, meaning it can adapt and change throughout life. This ability is crucial for learning, memory formation, and recovery from brain damage. Neurotransmitters such as dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine plays a critical role in brain function and mood regulation. The brain is capable of generating new neurons through a process called neurogenesis, which primarily occurs in the hippocampus, a region involved in learning and memory. Sleep is essential for brain health and function. During sleep, the brain consolidates memories, repairs tissues, and clears out waste products. The brain is highly sensitive to external influences such as drugs, alcohol, and trauma. These factors can have profound effects on brain function and behavior. The human brain is more wrinkled than that of any other species, allowing for a larger surface area within the limited space of the skull. Each hemisphere of the brain is divided into four lobes: the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, and temporal lobe. Each lobe has its own specialized functions. The frontal lobe is responsible for executive functions such as decision making, problem solving, and planning. It also controls voluntary movements. The parietal lobe is involved in sensory perception and spatial awareness. It helps us understand our body's position in space and process tactile sensations. The occipital lobe is primarily responsible for visual processing. It receives and interprets information from the eyes, allowing us to see and recognize objects. The temporal lobe plays a crucial role in auditory processing and memory formation. It is also involved in language comprehension and facial recognition. The brain undergoes significant changes during development. In early childhood, there is an overproduction of neurons and synapses, followed by a process of pruning where unnecessary connections are eliminated. The brain reaches its peak size and development during early adulthood, after which it undergoes gradual changes and some decline in function with aging. The brain's ability to adapt and change, known as neuroplasticity, is highest during early childhood but continues throughout life, albeit to a lesser extent. Chronic stress can have detrimental effects on the brain, leading to structural and functional changes that increase the risk of mental health disorders and cognitive decline. The brain's pituitary gland, often referred to as the master gland, controls the release of hormones that regulate various psychological processes. The brain's neural networks are dynamic and can rewire themselves to adapt to changing conditions and experiences. The brain's incredible complexity and adaptability make it a fascinating subject of study, and ongoing research continues to uncover the mysteries of this extraordinary organ.